you ever been to a national park that could possibly have 500 black bears roaming its area, according to soft schools? Well, Yosemite National Park would be your place. Today I'm going to tell you about one of the many beautiful national parks we have here in the United States. When I was a freshman in high school, I got the chance to visit Yosemite National Park and experience it for myself. And I've now also done some extra research on the park. Yosemite National Park has had many different cultures travel the land. It has lots of wildlife roaming the area and many different beautiful sights to visit. To begin with, the Apache tribe were the first to roam the area. They were there for many generations until the mid-1800s when the Europeans took over. When the Europeans came, only about 650 travelers came with them since they had to travel by horseback or stage. When they came, there was a lot of violent disruption between them and the native tribes. But eventually, the Europeans overrode the natives and their population was then gone. In 1890, John Muir came over and decided that the park needed to be preserved for better than it was. So, in 1906, he got President Theodore Roosevelt to come and tour the park with him, and by 1906, the park was no longer under California's rule, but the federal government. Today, 7 present-day tribes come from the tribes that once called this place home. And the park today gets about 4 million visits per year from people. Now that you've had a little background information about the park, let's talk about some of the beautiful sights you may see. The first place you'll want to visit is Tunnel View. Tunnel View is along State Route 44, and from the view you get to see many different points. That's why it's a good place to visit. The first place you'll see is El Captain, which is a 3,000-foot rock climb up. So many rock climbers like to visit it for a struggle to rock climb it. Another place you'll get to see is the Half Dome, which is the most popular rock formation known at the park. It's 4,737 feet from the bottom to the top, and so you're allowed to rock climb it, but you must use your cables. The last place you'll see is Bridewell Fall, which is that right there. It is a waterfall that's 617 feet from the top. And it's believed from the Apache tribe that if you inhale the mist from that waterfall, your chances of getting married will be increased. The next place you'll want to visit is Glacier Point. My family actually got to go here, so I've seen this one. From Glacier Point, once again, you will get to see the Half Dome, which I just explained before, but you will also get to see Yosemite Falls, which is the tallest waterfall in North America at 2,424 feet tall. And you will also get to see Nevada Fall, which is a 594-foot tall waterfall from the top to the bottom. Now that you've had a little mini tour through the park, let's talk about some of the wildlife one might encounter when they visit. As I mentioned before, according to soft schools, you will see almost 500 black bears at the park. According to the National Park Service, though, the bears are not actually black, but more of a brownish color because of the habitat we have here. When one sees a bear, they might get super excited and want to run up and see it or whatever, but remember to keep your distance for the safety of you and the animal. The next type of animal that one might see is the Nevada Sierra bighorn sheep. They were not around for 100 years and nobody knew really what happened to them. But a national leadership committee went out and found them, and they're now back in the park up in the mountains. So if you want to see them, you have to travel up to a mountain or rock climb or anything. There are now about 600 of these animals in the park to visit. Along with the 90 mammal species they also have about 262 bird species in the area. The first bird that I'm going to talk about was John Muir's favorite bird, and that's the American Dipper. The American Dipper is the only aquatic songbird in North America that we have, which means they sing and they also dip down in the water, causing little rings to happen. They're very peaceful birds and very cool to see. Their body is like a wetsuit which means when they go down in the water, they can handle temperatures all the way down to negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The next bird is the mountain chickadee. They're a very regularly seen bird up in the mountains. They're also very active and aerobic animal that you'd like to see. As you can see, the bird likes to hang out on little limbs, and sometimes you'll even see them hanging upside down. So today, I've told you about one of the beautiful national parks we have here in the United States. I've taught you about the culture of the park, some of the beautiful sights to see when you visit, and wildlife that roams all around. So now that you've just seen pictures of the park, pack your bags and book your plane ticket to California so you can visit Yosemite National Park for yourself.